Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio, video related products, and if you're new here, well, that's exactly what I do. I've got the setup slightly different today. I'm normally looking over that side of my studio where I've got my main edit suite, my 27-inch monitor with me Mac Mini, the M1 Mac Mini, but today I've swapped it around a bit. I thought just for a change of scenery, I'll overlook the other side of the studio where I've got my audio equipment, my audio editing desk, disc printing software and whatever at the back here. And the kit we're using today is generally what I normally use. So I've got one of my Sony A7Cs, which is this one here, getting the close-up shots. That's with the 85mm lens on. I've got my other A7C over here with the Tamron 28-75 lens on. And I've got a ZV one here, which will be getting the close-up shots of what we're going to be talking about today, which is this fantastic lens. And I'm trying out another new camera that I purchased, which is this one here. It's a bizarre product, but I think it's going to be a very useful product. And it is the Zoom Q8. And you can plug XLR microphones into it, and it's a really cheap camera. Fixed lens, fixed wide angle lens, but I'll do a review on that in a separate video, so keep your eye out for that. Today I'm just experimenting with it, so that's basically the Zoom Q8 over there. And the sound is being picked up from my radio mic, the Holyland Lark 150. Backup is my Sennheiser MKE 600 over here, which is going into the Zoom Q8. So there we go. So what we're looking at today is the Sony FE 35mm f1.8 lens, which we have here fitted to my Sony A7R Mark III. A great combination, a great camera, 42 megapixel full frame body, and this combination works really well. Although this lens is quite at home on the Sony A7C, the A7Iiis, any of the full frame bodies to be fair. Also, it's quite at home on the APSC bodies, such as the A6600, the A6100, even the old NEX bodies. It'll work on both. Obviously, if you're using it on a APS-C body, take into account the crop factor, so it becomes a 52mm lens. So it's got a lot of versatility, this particular lens has, as all the Sony FE lenses have. I kind of recommend now, actually, if you're buying or if you have the Sony APS-C bodies, and you can justify the cost and afford the cost of the full frame lenses, it might well be worth getting your full frame lenses, because then when you do upgrade to full frame, you've already got the lenses. So it's a great way of doing things, apart from the wide angle aspect, because obviously you're not going to get a really wide angle with a full frame lens. So you may have to stick to an APS-C lens in that particular scenario. Now 35mm obviously on a full frame body is 35mm, and this is the lens, nice and compact, doesn't weigh a great deal. What is the weight? It is 280 grams. So it only weighs 280 grams. So a really lightweight compact lens. You take the lens hood off and you can see how compact, even on a big body like this. On the A7C makes a great combination because it really is nice and compact on the A7C. A lovely focus ring, being a prime lens obviously isn't a zoom lens, so you've got a really wide focus ring there. It is electronic focusing, it's not mechanical focusing, so you will have those limitations if you're looking at doing pull focusing and video. I've not actually played with it, so I don't know how accurate it is. I use autofocus simply because A, because of my eyes, and B, when I'm working solo like this, and there's only me working here, I have to have a camera as an autofocus, so I can rely on a really good autofocus feed, being recorded on the camera. Now, it's got, as I say, a really nice focus ring. On this side of the lens, you have a focus hold button. I don't know why they call it a focus hold button, but I guess that's because the bodies are pre-programmed to use this function button as a focus hold button, but it's assignable, so you can set it to pretty much whatever you want. ISO, white balance, etc, etc, a whole range of different settings. I've actually got mine set to detecting whether it's animal detect or face detect, human detect. And I find that's great because I like photographing my cats a lot, which is, I don't know if other people do, but I do. So I can very quickly, when I'm out and about, either switch to focusing on animals or switch to focusing on humans. And that is great because I can just hold it up, either if I'm photographing like that, or, you know, up to my eye. And you can switch that, just a quick flick of a button. But as I say, you can assign that. You can see there, I've got that assigned for, you know, push it in, and I can then adjust that according to, you know, whether I want animal or human detect. Can you, probably, don't know how easy that is to see, but a great feature. But as I say, use it for whatever you want, and I like that particular feature. It's actually set in the camera body, so whatever lens I put on now on this particular body, if it's got this function button on the side, that will actually set it to, you know, that particular feature. And then you've got your autofocus, manual focus switch on the side. Fairly traditional for most lenses, not every lens. But, you know, that is really good. And as I say, it's nice and compact. It's weather sealed, so you don't have to worry about taking it out in the rain or, you know, anything like that. Let me just show you the size of metal construction on the rear. I think the lens is, no, lens is plastic, I think, but a nice, good quality metal construction on the actual mount. So has a good solid feel when you mount it. Really nice feel. And the optical quality is fantastic. I'll go through, you know, very briefly some of the photographs that I've taken, sample photographs I've taken with this particular lens, and you know, you'll see that they are really sharp. Now the problem with YouTube, the compression is so high, you won't really see the quality on YouTube. Well, I'm going to, you know, run through a few. So I suggest you look at my Flickr page. There'll be a link in the description to my Flickr page where you can get a better look at the images taken with this lens, rather than relying on what you see on YouTube. And 35mm is a good focal range because it's neither wide angle and it's neither telephoto. It's actually quite a nice little portrait lens, particularly for street photography and that kind of, you know, scenario. Landscapes as well. A lot of people use 35mm as a good general purpose lens. But what I like about it on a full frame body, certainly on this Sony A7R 2, 3 and 4, is you can use a 35mm lens but adapt it to be a 52mm lens, so it's both in one. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I suspect a lot of you would already know this anyway, so apologies if you already do, but basically at the moment that's set to 35mm. I've got it set to aperture priority, and you get a, you know, 35mm basically angle, as it were. Now a flick of a switch, I can push this. I've pre-assigned a function button to be able to do this. Flick of a switch, that takes it into APS-C mode, which now makes it a 52mm lens. So you've got both on one camera body. Isn't that fantastic? I really like that. Now obviously it reduces the pixel count. So instead of being 42 megapixel in full frame, if you switch to APS-C mode, you're down to about 18 megapixels. But on this particular body, that's not an issue. You know, 18 megapixels is still, you know, really good. Now obviously you can do that with all FE mount lenses, and you can do that with all full frame lenses, be it Tamron or Sigma. So it's not restricted to this particular lens, but it's a useful feature, being able to you know, crop in tighter as you're taking the photographs. But what I find even more useful, and I'm going to demonstrate that in just a moment, is that in video you can do it even on the A7C, the A7Riis, and all the A7 IIs, the A7Ss, you know, basically all the full frame bodies, even the lower megapixel ones, in video you can switch to APS-C mode without losing quality. There's a lot of debate as to, you know, the full frame quality in video off the Sony cameras compared to the APS-C video quality, 4K quality. I'm not going to go into that because, you know, on the Sony A7 III and I guess on the A7R4, the video quality apparently in full frame mode in 4K is slightly softer than what it is in APS-C mode. But it's a really handy feature to have where as I say, I will demonstrate it. You set it up for 35mm, not quite tight enough. Flick of a function button if you've pre-assigned a function button to do it, and then you're in APS-C mode. So, you know, great feature to have, and I've used that for taking quite a few of these photographs, is switching between full frame and APS-C mode. And, you know, it's a great little feature. Now, if you look at some of these photographs that I've just taken in and around the garden, so, you know, I haven't really got out very much at all, but beautifully sharp. So if we look in tighter here, you can see the detail on this plant's leaf is phenomenal, and the colour rendition and the sharpness to the edges is really good. There is nothing wrong with the detail and quality that comes off, you know, off this lens. You just see each, you know, each detail, each vein of that plant is just beautiful, you know. And when you switch to animal eye detect, it works a treat. Lovely sharp eyes, you know. Molly's got, you know, it's picked up Molly's eyes beautifully, really nicely. So, and again, I think this is a great feature to be able to very quickly switch between animal detect and human detect, and I love that feature with the Sony lenses that have that particular function button. And again, you know, the focus point is just gorgeous. It's just spot on. And the out of focus areas, I know everyone calls it bokeh, but the out of focus areas, even though it's only 35mm, you really aren't going to get the sort of out of focus that you're going to get with a telephoto lens unless you're close into the subject. But it's still really creamy. It's really nice. I've got no problems with how this lens renders images. You know, and these images will print beautifully, you know, if you print them. Again, even with her not, you know, staring down the camera lens, is the camera body and the lens combination is picking it all up beautifully with a lovely out of focus area. So, you know, it's a great lens. And I say some of these images were taken in APS-C mode, which is tremendous. I'm not so sure I would use for taking photographs the APS-C mode with, say, like the A7C or the A7Riii, because with a 24 megapixel sensor, it's knocking it down to about 10 or 12 megapixels. So, you know, I'm not so sure I would use it on those particular cameras, but for video I would, because it doesn't have an impact on image quality if you go down to APS-C mode. So, you know, there we go, a great lens and a great fitting lens, particularly on this camera. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this and go over to using this lens. I'm going to stick this on a tripod. I might as well use this body because it's on it, you know, and we'll do some filming with this lens so you can get a quick look at the image quality for video coming off this lens in both full frame mode and APS-C mode. So let's do that now. Okay, so I changed my mind. I didn't put it on the A7R III simply because I forgot it hasn't got a monitor so I can see what I'm doing with it. I'd have to put a monitor on the top of the camera and I couldn't be bothered doing that. So I've actually done probably a more sensible thing. I've actually put it on my A7C. So I've taken off my Tamron lens, which I've put on the A7R III over there somewhere, and I've put it on my A7C, which is this, you know, lovely, nice, wide aesthetic, and that's what the 35mm lens is giving. So I've still got the 85mm lens on the other A7C, so that's getting the tighter shot, but I've got the wider 35mm lens now on the A7C. I think you'll agree with me, well I hope you'll agree with me, it's a nice image quality, it's a lovely image quality, 4K image quality that's coming off through the lens onto the A7C in 4K. I am filming everything in 4K. I edit it in 1080 and upload it to YouTube in 1080 purely for flexibility, editing flexibility and what have you. I've done other videos about why I do that. Also, it saves a lot of space on my hard drive. So, there we go. But yeah, that's now in full frame mode, not 35mm mode, full frame mode. So I'm going to now switch the camera over to APS-C mode, and you'll see the flexibility in shooting, with one lens on a full frame Sony body. As I say, that's a 35mm lens in full frame mode. Now let's, I don't know if I can do it while I'm filming. We'll try. Let's have a look, see what happens. No, it won't let me do it while I'm filming. So let's stop these cameras, and we'll put it into APS-C mode. We're now in APS-C mode, so that's equivalent to 52mm lens. So isn't that, tremendous? I think that's tremendous. It's actually fairly close to the 85mm lens, because I've got the other A7C a bit further back. So you're getting a reasonably similar, quite a similar sort of angle and perspective. Even the bokeh is going to be very similar, because they're both f1.8 lenses. And that's a nice thing with this lens, it's an f1.8 lens, so that is great in low light. Also great for getting nice bokeh in the background. So there we go, that is the Sony FE 35mm f1.8 lens for both obviously full frame and APS-C bodies, but designed for the full frame bodies. I'm really enjoying the lens. I'm going to be using it in the studio, probably as my wide shot. I do like the aesthetic of its wide, although I will probably shoot it in full frame mode as opposed to APS-C mode. And then, as I say, I've got my other A7C over here. So there we go. I really hope you found that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button if you like the content of this video. That would be really, really helpful. It helps me grow the channel, and I really appreciate that. And leave any comments in the comment section below. I do read all the comments, and that would be really, really helpful. And take a look at the Flickr page to, have a better look at the quality coming off this lens, rather than going by, this YouTube video. That would be really, really useful. And I've got a website where there's special offer links to Amazon affiliate pages, basically, so you can purchase these products without paying any extra. I earn a few pennies, don't earn a great deal, but a few pennies from anything you purchase via the link, so that helps me grow the channel as well. You don't pay any more, and Amazon have got a great returns policy, should you not like the product, or should there be any problems with it or whatever. Also on that page there's discount offers for Luminar AI and Luminar 4. These are great editing software. They're very similar to Lightroom, but you don't pay any subscription. Once you've purchased it, you own it. So it's well worth looking at that page. It's on the website. Take a look at that. You can download a trial version before you decide to buy it. And if you use the coupon code AVP when you check out, use the code AVP during your checkout process, you'll get $10 off the price of the software. So everyone's a winner. And I use it all the time. I purchased it, I didn't get it sent to me for free. I did buy it. So it's well worth looking at that for your photo editing and photo organising needs. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the channel and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography and audio. Thanks very much. Bye for now.